I'm Paula and this is Maggie, and today we're going to teach Maggie to heel on loose lead, so a nice walking to heel. Now we call it heel because we encourage the dog to stay walking at our heel side rather than pulling you down the road or on the way to the park or tension on the lead. It's one of the hardest things to teach our dogs, particularly from puppy stage, because it's naturally instinctive for them to pull ahead or walk ahead of you, and also they have what's called an opposition reflex. So what that means is the more tension and pulling that you have on the lead, the more the dog's opposition reflex is triggered, so they'll pull in the opposite direction. So that's why things like lead jerking doesn't really work when we're teaching a dog heel. Today we're going to use a lure and reward technique, and what that means is that we use a food lure in our hand to encourage the dog to follow us and stay at our side, at our heel. And then we also use that food as a reinforcer and reward the good behaviour for staying at our side. I find that positive reinforcement, lure and reward, has a much faster rate of learning, because basic psychology is that if the behaviour is reinforced and rewarded, then it's likely to be repeated, and then over time it becomes more habitual. So you can heel your dog either on either side. It doesn't matter if you use your left or your right. Often when you're road walking, you probably want them on the inside. I'm going to switch the lead onto collar to teach her a heel. Good girl, Maggie. Okay, and I'll explain why in a moment. You can teach heel on a harness as well, there's no harm in that, but I'll explain why I've chosen to do that with Maggie today. So, I'm going to start with her on my left side, and I'm going to have the treat here as the lure for her to follow. So, it's better to have the treat in the hand closest to your dog so that she can follow that and shape the behaviour, which means that the lead is nice and loose across my body. I don't want to put any tension on that. I don't want to use the lead to force her or pull her into the position, because then I'm going to trigger her opposition reflex. So I'm going to keep her nice and comfortable at my side, and I'm just going to shape the behaviour with one step at a time and teach her the cue word heel, so that word association of what heel means. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm just going to take one step and I'm going to keep repeating it, and when she stays at my side, I'm going to give her a marker word, yes, and reward while she's still at my side. So I'll show you what that means. So I lure her into position. I do not use the lead. I use the lure. Good. And I go heel. Yes. Heel. Yes. So rewarding her, really important that you're rewarding her at the side. Heel. Yes. So the dog is understanding that this position means heel. Heel. Yes. Good girl. Heel. Yes. So when your dog's doing that nicely, lure back round. We then want to start building the distance. So there's the 3 Ds. We add the distance, duration, and the distraction to all of our behaviours. So in the heel work, we start with the distances, and I'm going to start building that one step at a time. So I'm going to start with 1 step, heel, yes, good. 2 steps, heel, yes. Good girl. And again, 3 steps, heel. Yes, good. And you want to get that marker word in before they walk ahead. I'm going to turn around. Good girl. Again, heel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Let's go for the big 5, shall we, Maggie? Ready? Heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay, so once you've started, what happens is with this with this technique, is that you're building your distance 1 step at a time until eventually you're able to do 20 or 30 steps between treats. So you're naturally phasing out the amount of rewards you have to do by asking your dog to do that little bit more each time. Once you're sort of 20 or 30 steps, you then might want to practice without a food lure in your hand. So what you do there is this becomes your hand signal, and I'm just going to walk Maggie around to show you. I've still got the treat in the pouch at the end of the distance, but I'm not using the food lure anymore, and that's really important because you don't want her to get dependent on that. So heel. Heel. So this whole hand has now become my hand signal. I'm not using the lead at any time. Good. Heel. Well done. At this side. Good. Yes. Well done. Okay. One important tip when you're practicing is if your dog does go ahead of you at any point, don't use your lead to bring your dog back round. It will trigger opposition reflex. Use your food lure or your hand signal to bring her back into position. Never reward the reset. Just start again. Yes. Good. And that's